So the games from the weekend, my friend, I thought, again, the action was pretty good and compelling. There was a lot of head-scratching stuff. I mean, to watch Kyle Shanahan, you sort of expect Mike McCarthy to botch things at the end of a game, at the end of halves. We've been watching that since he was in Green Bay. I think the players often are very representative of the head coach, too, and we saw a lot of that in the game yesterday. I was a little bit surprised to see how sloppy San Francisco was and how much Kyle Shanahan was trying to screw up the clock. You saw Elijah Mitchell pull a Marion Barber. That was an instant. It was happening instantly on social media, on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah.
The Bears fans, he pulled the Marion Barber. It's what are you doing, Elijah Mitchell? You give yourself up when you have the first down, the game is over.
You fall.
Additional yardage is not necessary. Right. You fall inbounds.
Inbounds.
It was stunning, Yerk, to see how much the Niners even tried to screw that up. But all in all, I thought the football was still good. Maybe the games weren't as competitive as we would have liked, but I thought the football from a lot of guys was really good.
I was down there. There's a ton of Eagles-Giants fans down at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino where we were at.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of it. A lot of despondent.
More Giants or fans. Eagles?
More Giants than Eagles.
More Giants.
But everybody was well represented.
Mm-hmm.
They had the big TVs in the one room with the one bar with like 12 gambling tables in there. And they had it roped off because it was jam-packed. You couldn't get any more people in there. Halftime, the fans were just kind of milling about. The Giants fans, they were sad. They were downtrodden.
Knew, right? Like, didn't you kind of know at 14-0?
That's your one game that was kind of, okay, it's not really a game.
I agree.
Giants and the Jaguars are like the teams that kind of surprised a little bit. The Jaguars made a better effort of it against Kansas City than the Giants made of it against the Eagles.
Yeah.
But the right team won in both of those games. Philadelphia Eagles pounded the New York Giants. They eliminated them. Eliminated them. They've got question marks as they go into the offseason. Was our season, as decent as it was, or wasn't it? How much more improvement we can make, and where can we make it? Is our quarterback the answer? Isn't our quarterback the answer? They've got a lot of question marks going on. The Jaguars, on the other hand, I think the Jaguars are in better shape moving forward than the New York Giants are.
Well, you know why?
Because their division is going south for the winter, and it's very winnable, and it's easy to win.
Well, okay.
And they've got a number one stud quarterback.
They got a quarterback that's young, that's going to be a stud. And while Daniel Jones is a nice story, nobody will confuse Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence at this point. Nobody. That's the difference.
Yes.
I agree with you. Trevor Lawrence looks like he's going to be a stud. And he's like, we always talk about Burrow being everything you want in that number one pick. I mean, that's what it looks like with Trevor Lawrence right now.
My guy Carmen, the accountant, usually will come up numbers to support this, and I'm sure this is going to happen later on this week when we dissect these games and start going into the next games. We had talked about 3 teams in the AFC and the NFC that were legitimate guys to get to the AFC NFC championships, and it was everybody that had high point differentials.
Yes.
You looked at it, kind of easy way, a cheater's way to take a look at it and say, hey, these are your 3 best teams. The Minnesota Vikings didn't have a great point differential.
No, they did not.
We knew it. They won a lot of games, a lot of one-score games. You knew they were ripe for the picking. My apologies to go out to Viking Scott, but you knew they were ripe for the picking. You had 3 teams and 3 teams. Of those 3 teams on each side, the AFC, NFC, 2 of those 3 have made it.
You're correct.
And that's what you come to expect.
Yurko's right. So the NFC title game features the Eagles and the 49ers. The 49ers had the best scoring differential in the NFC this year at a plus 173. Guess who had the second best? The Eagles at plus 133. The Chiefs and the Bengals have made the title game in the AFC. Now, Buffalo was number one at a plus 169. But I don't think anybody that watched Buffalo in the last month will say that team was clicking or hitting or firing, let's put it that way, on all cylinders. No, I don't think anybody objectively could look at the last month and say that. Okay, so who were teams 2 and 3 in scoring differential in the regular season in the AFC? It will surprise no one to find out that those 2 teams are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. I really do think we have the 4 best teams. Buffalo, we talked about this a little bit last week. And it's why I looked at that point spread and I was like, I just don't know how you can get yourself to laying 5.5, 6, 5.5, 5. Those are dead zones anyway. But even when it got to 6, I'm like, I don't know how you can lay 6 points with the way the Bills have played. And not only did they fail to cover, they lost outright.
I felt like they played the best football early in the season.
I totally
they were
agree with you.
6-1. They were a better team in September and October than they were in November, December, and they went on a 9-game winning streak.
They did,
but it was a 9-game winning streak. Ugh.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah. I totally agree with you. They did not play their best football late. They obviously missed Von Miller. Yeah. And if you look at the rate statistics alone and some of the pressure metrics, I mean, they fell off a cliff in terms of rushing the passer. And that
exposes everyone.
It totally does.
It exposes everyone when that happens. When you get a key guy that's putting pressure on the quarterback, it means you got to cover a little bit longer. It means you might want to gamble a little bit. It means you want to take risks because you want to try to make a play as opposed to being able to make plays to read and react because you know pressure is going to be there on the quarterback.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. The other thing that stands out are the high point totals from the winning teams. I mean, I don't think it's surprising. We talk about all the time. You need offense to truly win and to truly be consistent and to be a threat every year in this league. It's nice to have both. Don't get me wrong. It is. If you can be like San Fran, pair a great, efficient offense with a great defense, that's wonderful. But this notion that defense wins championships, we've told you for quite some time now. That's just not the case anymore. The game's changed too much, the rules, everything else. The average number of points scored by the winning teams so far through the 10 games in the playoffs here is 30.3 points per game. You got to score to win in this league. You really do. And I think the teams that look the most dangerous are the teams that have exceptional quarterback play and a lot of offensive weaponry. And that's what we've seen on display.
And I didn't expect this out of Cincinnati this year. I thought we were going to have a little bit of a fall off. No fall off at all for Cincinnati.
He's a stud, isn't he?
Yeah.
I tweeted.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's a stud. I'm glad to have him on my fantasy team.
You should be. Like I didn't tweet this. I texted this to our station text yesterday. We were having a discussion about this a little bit. I mean, everybody knows my love for Justin Herbert, but like you can't say that there's anybody outside of Patrick Mahomes that you want as your starting quarterback more than Joe Burrow right now, can you? I don't think there's a player in the league. Is there?
I think you'd want more. You want him more than Herbert.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like as much as I love
want him
Herbert,
more than Dak.
Oh, yeah. Please. I mean,
I'm going around the league. I'm just saying that I want him more than a lot of guys that are out there.
Aaron
I want
Rodgers,
him more
than Tua.
Jalen Hurts has been pretty good.
Jalen's been very good.
Jalen's been pretty good. So if I want to say, okay, I'll take Joe, but I'm only going to take Joe a little bit more than Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to take him a lot. It would be Joe, then Jalen, and then everybody starts to fall by the wayside. With Mahomes being number one, of course.
Mahomes is one. I think Burrow's two. I mean, he is so confident. He's so good.
Right. Even Brady and Rodgers, age is important in what the conversation we're having right now.
Sure it is.
The conversation we're having, age is important. So, yes, I wouldn't want Brady or I wouldn't want Rodgers in this situation.
I don't know how you can say you'd want anybody other than Joe Burrow outside of, Mahomes being the number one quarterback that you'd want on your team. I just think he's elevated that franchise. I think he's that good. He's 5-1 in the playoffs now. I'll give you some numbers in a little bit that you'll go, oh my God. I'll throw a few different things at you and you're just gonna go, whoa. He's just watch him. Not only is he immensely talented, we know that. He does all the things that, Jurko and Waddle always tell you about. What do you want to see the quarterback do? Does the quarterback know where to go with the football? Does the quarterback process quickly? That's what he does. He sees it all, Jurk. I mean, like you can watch him in those conditions yesterday. He's calm. He's confident. He knows what he's looking at. He knows where the ball should go. They kept throttling up too. They got the ball at the end of the half and they're like, no, we're going to go. We're going to try actually right now. Let's see what we can do. In those they weren't afraid to do it.
We're going to make the effort.
He is remarkably good.
Right. And you talk about the 3 quarters and Jalen Hurts a little bit under Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy didn't play his best game.
No, he did not.
And with the defense they have, they got away with it. They got away with it. San Francisco 49ers got away with playing Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy not being exceptional, not being great. I wonder if the situation catches up with them in Philadelphia.
Right.
In Philadelphia, I wonder if it catches up to them. At home, you've got the crowd behind you. It's tie game. But because your crowd's going to carry you through, that's what ends up happening ultimately with you guys. It's not going to happen in Philadelphia. Mm-mm. The Eagles fans are not selling their tickets to the San Francisco 49er fans.
Mm-mm.
Nobody from Santa Clara is going out there and getting themselves a block of tickets to sit in the middle of anywhere.
That ain't happening.
No, the Philadelphia Eagle fans are going to have it.